Boys, today is the day. We're going to be putting the gigantic TBSS intake on skid mark. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are going to be putting, like I said, the TBSS intake on skid mark here. Now, this was something I wanted to do earlier, but just kind of just now getting around to doing it. But what we've got here is the TBSS intake. So, and this is kind of what this truck has, the return style fuel system. So I'm going to get into that regulator here in just a minute. But we've got the intake, we've got new body fuel rails with the new body injectors. These were 32 pounds, so we had to get the injector adapters, and I'm gonna try to link all this in the description below. We've got our big old 92mm throttle body, which you've seen in previous videos, and this is a fly-by cable truck, so we've got the cable one. And back here in the back, this big round thing is a C5 fuel regulator. Now, let me explain to you why that's important for skid mark here, and you didn't see this on the Cateye. The Cateye was a return-less style fuel rail, fuel system, or whatever. So it just plugged right up. Well, because skid happens to be a round body, he's got the return line. So what you do is, you got full fuel in, fuel out, it's got to return. This regulates the pressure into our fuel system to make sure everything is kosher and the fuel pump doesn't freak out or we have any type of crazy issues with it, like it leaning out, too much fuel pressure, blowing up, or anything like that. In conjunction, we've got our evap solenoid off of a new body truck, because that's going to be important. We got to run, got to redo your evap deal here, and I've got the line that runs into there. But everything else should swap over as far as sensor wise. We actually got the legit new body fuel rails. We need that fuel port because you know that's where we get our fuel for our nitrous, so that's pretty important. But Austin's over here, and what was your record last time pulling the intake off?
Camshaft sensor replaced and back on in what, like 30-45 minutes?
Oh yeah, it was quick. So
I've done this like 7 times, so we should be able to get it done fairly quick.
Pretty quick, yeah. Now we have to take the nitrous stuff kind of off to the side. That adds like a couple minutes, but no big deal. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Like I said, if you got any questions about any of this, you can DM me on Instagram at Austin04_Z71. You can try to drop a comment, but I don't always see them. So if you got a question about where you need to find any of this stuff or how to do it, hit me up over there. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. That was literally 10 minutes, if even that. That was even with the, hey, go get that tool from the other side. Looky there. Well, shoot dang. Alrighty, so we gonna swap the, we got our gaskets on here already, and we're gonna plop this thing down up in there and start hooking her back up. We just realized we're getting ready to say, hey, the intake's in here, but the NOx sensor plug is falling down behind the engine. And for those of you who are familiar, the NOx sensor sit under the intake, and the plug is the plug is in the back. But there you go, it's sitting down in there. I was just telling Austin how it just looks so much fuller in here with it. But now our whole point is just hooking everything back up. I mean, at this point, it's just tightening the bolts down and literally plug and play. And if you want a little more in-depth video, I did one like a year ago, and I have to pull it back off.
Yeah.
Well, it is what it is.
Whoever wired this, whoever did this wiring harness, ran it wrong.
There's, yeah, some of you guys think that this right here is all for show. This little, Alrighty, so after pulling off the intake to get that NOx sensor plug back up, we've got everything plugged back up. He's just finishing up tightening the intake bolts down. And once we get that, I just gotta slide the 2 fuel rails back on and hook our grounds back up here. And we should be able to fire it up once we get to that point. I mean, because we had everything ready and have done it before. It just was a clean and simple job here, and hopefully it runs all right. It's gonna be a lot different with that much airflow, so we'll go in and retune it, take it back to our tuner this week, hopefully. And now that we've got the wideband in here, we'll be able to watch AFR and see just how lean we are, and if we need to trailer it to get tuned, or it can limp its way to the shop to get tuned. So I'll pick back up the camera here in just a minute once I get those fuel lines hooked up and we get the bolts tightened. He said, we're done. Oh wait, nitrous. Not that we're gonna spray or anything for a while, but there you go, guys. The intake is on, and other than our piddle paddle with a couple sensor deals prior to putting it in here, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, if that.
If you run nitrous, and you're hooking up your last 2 lines, don't forget about this little guy down here, because I just did, and I gotta tighten that up too.
I doubt the majority of them are going to be running nitrous, but this is exciting because it's a way bigger intake, way bigger throttle body. So biggest question is, with these injectors, is it going to act right when I go to start it up? And like I said, the good thing is we do have a wide band, so we can read and see what's going on. If it's dumping too much fuel, not dumping enough fuel. No, I'm not starting yet. Get a kind of an idea of what's going on with it. So we'll do the first start up here in just a second. All right, guys, so this actually isn't the first start, because the first start, there was a giant vacuum leak because we forgot to hook the brake booster up, the vacuum line. Then we got that fixed. It was running really bad. Then we got that fixed, and then it was idling high, and then we forgot the, I forget what they call it, the crankcase pressure release wasn't hooked up. We got that hooked back up. So now the vacuum leaks are settled. It can actually run right. Here is the intake.
So basically it's loading up on fuel upon startup, so it's a tuning issue for sure. We're trying to let the truck relearn itself.
It was running so good just a
second. It was running really good just a second ago, but of course. All right, now try it. Y'all saw that, but that crankcase pressure relief, we're gonna have to figure out a way to run a hose or something on it, let it build a little bit more suction, but I don't know, that's really weird.
It's gotta be tuned. Yeah. That was wide open. It just went straight to rich. Alrighty, boys, so 100% gonna have to be retuned. So, which we figured. I mean, no surprise there. If we would have stuck with stock injectors, it'd definitely have learned itself and come out. They recommend a tune for it, and I do too. That much more air it needs to be tuned. But on the Cateye, where it was already previously dyno tuned, it compensated itself pretty good for the intake when I swapped it. But Skid here, his previous tune isn't going to work with this. It's way more air, way more fuel. That's the other thing, is we went from 21 or 22 pound injectors to 32 pound injectors. So
this is why we never let Austin do wiring, because it won't start on its own. We're trying to figure out what's going on, and the one most important thing that he didn't hook up is right here.
Yeah, but it was still running.
It was still running, but this might be part of our starting issue. So we'll hook that up and dilly-dally.
It happens.
It happens.
But either way, it's still got to be tuned, because when we look at the wideband, when I go wide open, it just pegs rich. It's like 10, that's as low as it'll go. So stupid rich when I hit the gas. And so it definitely needs to be tuned, and we'll get on that right away this week. And we'll hopefully turn it around. But for those of you who want to do the swap, it's an easy swap. Like I said, check out that other video I did. It's a little more in-depth for my other truck. I went a little more in-depth with everything you need. This was just a quick swap here on Skid to get the horsepower. So biggest thing to remember is, if you got the return style fuel system, you got to have that regulator. If you've returnless, then you're fly-by cable, so you're going to need that X-Link harness, which I go over all that in the other video. Go check that out. And it's a really simple, easy swap. Easy horsepower gain, big horsepower gain, especially for an engine like this that's already got a cam in it and stuff like that. It's going to help us out a lot. That was a quick, easy video for you guys installing Skid's new intake. Get a new tune, hit that nitrous.
Hopefully we can get the tune this week. And we really need to go get it dyno tuned, which we might have some news coming up in July for that, for being able to dyno tune stuff quicker.
Oh yeah.
Which we will release more information about that when everything happens. Just see if it falls into place or not.
Yeah, we've got potentially a easier dyno deal in the making, but I don't want to say it, then something happened and it doesn't work out.
Yeah.
but for sure it would be nice to have one a little more readily accessible for these type things, like for skid right now. But that's gonna do it for today's video. I'm gonna put as much of this in the description as I can as far as links, but it's just gonna be a giant list, but hopefully we can see through them and you can kind of pick out what you need. So I appreciate you guys watching. You got something to add?
Like Austin and I were going over earlier, if you guys ever have any questions and you need to DM us, especially if it's LS related, mainly LS related, we deal with this stuff every day. So DM me on Instagram, Cam, we'll put my Instagram up there, or him, and we can answer all your questions. We got a lot of knowledge about this, but we're more than welcome to help you guys out if you need it.
Yeah, that's unfortunately, and I was just talking to Austin about a case scenario. Some people message me too late. They do something and it has catastrophic impacts because there was something that they didn't know to do, or shouldn't have done, or this, that, and the other. So if you got any questions, feel free to DM. I always try to answer every single one. Austin does too, and try to help you guys out. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Take care. Have a great day.
You bring me comfort to my